Hey everyone, and welcome! Today, we're going to dive into the really cool world of analytical chemistry. Have you ever wondered how scientists can look at something complex, like a sample of our water or a new medicine, and figure out every single tiny thing that's inside it? Well, that kind of precision comes down to two absolute powerhouse tools. Let's get into it.
It's a huge question, right? When you take a pill, you trust it's got the right stuff in it and nothing dangerous. When you turn on your tap, you just assume the water is clean. But that certainty isn't just magic. It comes from some incredibly precise science.
And, that science faces a pretty big challenge. Most of the time, a sample isn't just one thing. It's this messy jumble of dozens, sometimes even thousands of different molecules all mixed together. So the very first, most important step is to somehow separate each one from the crowd so you can actually see what's there. To solve this puzzle, labs all over the world rely on two superstar techniques, HPLC and GC. You can think of them as the ultimate sorting machines for molecules. Now, they might look kind of similar from the outside, but they're total specialists, each one built for a very different kind of job. All right, first up, let's meet HPLC. Its whole world revolves around liquids. And that makes it one of the most common, most widely used tools you'll find in a lab, especially if you walk into any pharmaceutical company. So the full name is Performance Liquid Chromatography. The key word you really want to lock in on here is liquid. Honestly, that one word tells you pretty much everything you need to know about what makes HPLC so special. Okay, so how does it work? With HPLC, the mobile phase, that's just the stuff that carries your sample through the system, is a liquid. This makes it perfect for what we call non-volatile samples. It's just a sciencey way of saying they don't turn into a gas easily. Think about big complex molecules, things like proteins or the active ingredients in drugs. A lot of these things break apart if they get too hot, so HPLC's gentle liquid-based method is perfect. And that is why it's the absolute go-to for quality control and R&D in pharma. All right, time to meet our second hero, GC, the gas specialist. So if HPLC is the master of liquids, well, GC is the expert for anything that can be turned into a gas. And yep, the name gives it all away. Gas chromatography. No confusion here. The whole point of this technique is to vaporize a sample into a gas and then analyze it. So here, the mobile phase isn't a liquid, it's an inert gas, something like helium or nitrogen. This means GC is designed for volatile compounds, basically things that evaporate really easily. Think about the smell of coffee brewing or the scent of a lemon. Those are volatile compounds. In the pharma industry, this makes GC the perfect tool for a super important job, checking for residual solvents. Those are tiny chemical traces left over from the manufacturing process that absolutely have to be removed. Okay, so we've met our two specialists. HPLC takes care of the non-volatile stuff, and GC handles the volatile things. Now, let's really put them side by side and see how they stack up. And this just nails the fundamental difference perfectly. A good way to think about it is like this. If you've got a big, complicated molecule that's sensitive to heat, HPLC is who you call. But if you have a smaller molecule that you can easily heat up and turn into a gas, GC is your expert, no question. This table just lays it all out so clearly. You see mobile phase, liquid versus gas. Sample nature, non-volatile versus volatile. Now check out the temperature. HPLC runs pretty cool, while GC runs hot. And why? Well, it has to. It needs to literally bake the sample to turn it into a gas. It makes perfect sense. And then look at how that plays out in pharma. HPLC is there analyzing the actual drug, the active pharmaceutical ingredient, while GC's job is to hunt for those pesky leftover solvents. They work on the same products, but they have totally different missions. So, with all that detail, what's the one thing you really, really need to remember from all this? Let's just boil it all down. It's actually incredibly simple. The choice between these two amazing tools really just comes down to a single property of whatever it is you're trying to analyze. And here it is. This is the whole ballgame. HPLC is for stuff that doesn't easily become a gas, and GC is for stuff that does. If you can just remember that one thing, that it's all about volatility, then you've totally nailed the core difference between these essential lab tools. So now you know how scientists unlock the secrets hidden inside pretty much any mixture. Whether it's using GC to find out what makes your favorite perfume smell so good, or using HPLC to make sure a life-saving medicine is pure, the possibilities are just endless. It really makes you think, if you had these tools, what's the first mystery you would try to solve? Thanks for